Welcome to this course on electric mobility. I am Puneet Hegde. I have been an electric vehicle user and enthusiast for the last 5 years. I have worked with electric bicycles, electric scooters, and electric cars. This course is to give an introduction to the various aspects of electric vehicles, like its advantages, its parts, specifications, and business models around the electric vehicles. I would like to start with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. We do not inherit the earth and its resources from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. This is a very strong statement, and what we do today will definitely affect the generations to come. For comparison of IC engine cars and an electric car, we calculate the emissions in terms of tons of CO2, carbon dioxide, that each car would emit for a lifetime of 200,000 kilometers. We have made certain assumptions regarding the kilometers per liter and kilometers per unit for each of the cars. With this, we arrive at the liters of fuel that an IC engine car would consume over its lifetime, and also the kWh units that an electric car would consume for the same kilometers running. The emissions from each of the vehicles is calculated in terms of tons of carbon dioxide, CO2, based on the emission factor of the energy source. In case of petrol, the emission factor is about 2.5 kg of CO2 per liter, and considering Indian energy mix of coal and renewable energy, it is 0.82 kg of CO2 per kWh unit. These factors are considered to calculate the CO2 emission over the entire lifetime of the car. This is the methodology used. Considering all factors, we can see that electric vehicles emit about half the carbon dioxide as compared to an internal combustion IC engine petrol car. Reducing emissions in the urban environment helps to improve the air quality of our cities. As compared to IC engine pollutants, an electric vehicle has zero tailpipe emissions and therefore reduces the health hazards associated with these pollutants. Electric vehicles operate with very low noise. This is a distinct advantage in the cities. Also, cities have a start-stop traffic, and electric vehicles are most suited for this traffic. This is because electric vehicles have good starting torque and they consume negligible energy when they are in stop condition. When electric vehicles are charged with renewable sources of energy like solar, wind, hydropower, etc., the entire process of transportation can become sustainable with zero emissions. Solar photovoltaic systems generate electricity which can be installed on rooftops of our homes. They can power our homes as well as the electric vehicles that we have. This is a decentralized use of solar energy, which is a very good option for charging electric vehicles. Even bigger systems for solar photovoltaic electricity generation can be installed on commercial spaces, parking lots, going to the extent of having dedicated solar powered electric vehicle charging stations. In addition to the rooftop systems, there can be large megawatt scale power plants using renewable energy and installed at remote suitable locations. These can be solar, wind, hydropower, such that they would supply to the grid and the grid would in turn supply to the individual users and vehicle charging stations. Thus, renewable energy can be used to power electric vehicles indirectly. For a country, the grid electricity has a mix of conventional energy and renewable energy. The higher the share of renewable energy, the more environment friendly electric vehicles are. When we talk of electric vehicles and its components like batteries, motors, etc., these basic electric terms are used very often, like voltage, current, power, and energy. The voltage level is dependent on the type of vehicle. For electric bicycles, 36 volt, 48 volt are quite common. For electric two-wheeler scooters, 48 volts, 60 volts, 72 volts are quite common. And for electric cars, 48 volt to much higher voltages are used for operation. Current, which is measured in amperes, is a very important parameter for design of controllers, wiring, connectors, and drive components. The power of an electric vehicle is specified in terms of watt or kilowatt. The higher the power, generally higher is the torque, acceleration, and weight carrying capacity. Power also influences the regulatory conditions of the vehicle. For example, a 250 watt electric scooter does not have license or registration requirements. However, with a higher power electric vehicle, these are mandatory. The term energy in the context of electric vehicles is generally given by kilowatt hour or kWh. When we speak in terms of batteries, kWh specifies the capacity and the kilometers that a battery can take the vehicle over a single charge. When we are talking of charging stations, kWh is a parameter which is generally used to calculate the billing when an electric vehicle is charged there. Now let's have a look at the major parts of an electric car. We start with the battery pack. The battery pack consists of several battery cells put together and provides DC current for running the vehicle. The battery is charged by external alternating current, and this goes into the vehicle through a charge port. Generally, an onboard AC-DC converter converts this AC to DC, and this DC is supplied to the battery for charging. The next important component of an electric car is the electric traction motor. This motor provides the energy for moving the wheels through transmission and gearboxes. Some cars have AC motors and others have DC motors for their operation. The output of the motor is controlled by a power electronics controller which decides the amount of current that would go to a motor based on the requirements of the drive. This controller is the brain of an electric car. The controller also helps to collect data which is required for analysis of the drive and life of an electric vehicle. Various parts of an electric car require cooling. These include the controllers, the batteries, the charging systems, and motors. For this, electric cars have dedicated cooling systems. Most electric cars also have a 12 volt auxiliary battery. This battery is used to operate various accessories like lights, etc. A charging system is provided which takes the voltage from the battery of the car and through a DC-DC converter converts it to 12 volt for charging this auxiliary battery. Electric two-wheelers have the same parts like battery pack, motor, power controller and DC-DC converter. Motors for two-wheelers are available in hub of the rear wheel or as a mid-drive with a power transmission to the rear wheel. Also, the dedicated charger converts the AC to DC, and DC is directly fed to the two-wheeler instead of an onboard charger, which is popular with cars. To summarize, electric vehicles charged with renewable energy are the most sustainable future of mobility. In the next session, we would learn about electric vehicle batteries, the technologies, the rates of charge and discharge, BMS, and battery swapping concepts. Please answer these 3 questions on electric vehicles based on the session that we have just completed.